Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. In this video, let's discuss what is meant by tuple and set in Python. In my previous video, we have discussed what is a list and list methods in Python, and if you didn't watch that video, I will give you the link for that video in the description. So, tuple is also another data type in Python. So, tuple is similar to that of list, right? The main difference between tuple and list is the way we gonna create tuple, like how we gonna create tuple, and also the tuple is immutable. That it means that list is mutable and tuple is immutable. So let's discuss all those things. So I'm creating a tuple. So if you want to create a tuple, you should use this parenthesis, right? And I'm gonna mention some values, some random values. And you can see, if I just print tuple, you can just see we can access tuple. And even you can create a tuple with different data types, like you can use string, float, and you can use, and even you can use nested tuple in this, and even you can use like list inside this tuple. You can use whatever you want. So that's about this tuple. I have said you, right, if you want to access an element in a tuple, we follow the similar rules which we followed in list. So like we're gonna access through indexes. We can see this is the 0 index is 1 and the last index, like the last one is 9. So through indexes we can access the elements in a tuple. Like everything is similar to that of list. The only difference is we can't change the elements in a tuple. Like once if you create some tuple, we can't change it. So here you can see I have created this tuple, right? So you can't, if you want to change something, you can't change. If I just say tuple of the index in 0th index, I have to place 2. So you can see the it returns an error, like tuple object does not support item assignment. So you can't change the elements in a tuple. Once you create, that's it, you can't change it. So if you see the methods available in tuple, only 2 methods are available, like count and index. Since there is no mutability in tuple, like we can't change the elements in a tuple, so we just have only 2 methods. So just this count used to count how many times a particular value occurred in a given tuple. For example, if I just type count of if I just use 2, you can see only 1 times it appeared in tuple. So that's it. So that's the reason it returned 1. And similarly, tuple dot index of, you can, if you want to check what is the index of particular value in a tuple, you can use this function index. If I just use 2 here, it returns 1. So what is the index of 2 in that tuple is 1, right? So that's about these 2 methods. And the advantages of tuple over list is creating tuple is faster than list, and even the way the list and tuple allocates the memory will be different. Let's understand that how tuple and list allocates some memory. We have already discussed list is mutable, right? We can change, we can append some values, right? So when you are creating a list, the computer, if you just creating a list for 3 elements, for example, I'm creating a list for these 3 elements. I'm creating a list. The computer, it allocates memory for more than 3 elements, right? So that like when you want to add some elements, you don't want to recreate the list again. But since tuple is immutable, you can't when you are creating the tuple itself, the computer knows that you can't change it. So just it, like if you want to check, if you want to create, if I'm creating this right, I'm creating tuple with 3 elements, right? So it understands that we are creating a tuple, so we can't change it. So the computer allocates only the memory required for these 3 elements That's a different in allocation of memory in list and tuple. Where we gonna use tuple means if you don't want to change the elements, so in that condition you can use tuple. And next data type is set. So set is an unordered collection data type. You may think like, what is unordered collection? So if I just want to create a set, you can just create using, for list we used the square brackets, and for tuple we used this parenthesis, and for set we gonna use this flower brackets. So let's create some set with random values. So I have created set with random values, and I'm going to include some, I'm going to repeat some values here. And if I just print this, you can see I have given, like I have stored the values in set in like in order, like first 165 78, like in order I have stored the values. But if you see, when I print it, it's not printed in the same order. So here it returns some like ascending order, but generally it's not like that. So that's the reason why we call set as unordered collection of data. So and here it and you can see here I have included duplicate elements, right? So when I am printing this, here, you can see it removed this duplicate elements. So in set it doesn't allow duplicate elements. Like even in set you can create you can create set using different data types, like you can use integers, you can mention like float, or you can mention like you can use string, whatever you want, you can just mention and you can create a set. So that's that's about set and how you're gonna create set. If you want to access an element from a set, say, the items cannot be accessed using an index, right? Since if the elements are ordered, then we can use index and we can just access it. Since the set is an unordered collection of data, we can't access through indexes. So if you see, if I'm just using this set, you can see when I try to access using this index, you can see set object is not subscriptable. It means that you can't access the elements in a set through indexes. So if you want to access through this in keyword, you can just mention and you can access whether this element is present in the set or not. It means like I'm just using 2 in A, so you can see it returns true. In that way you can just check whether an element present in set or not. So that's, you can't access through indexes. That's about it. And next thing what I have to discuss is the methods present in set. So if I just use a.tab, you can see these are the methods present in set. So if you want to add an element to an already created set, you can just use this add of method and you can just specify whatever you want. If I just print a, you can see it just added this 9 to this set. So that's how you can use this add method. If you want to like clear the entire set which we have created, you can just use a.clear of method, and if I just print this a, you can see it removed entire elements present in this set. So that's about this a.clear of. You can use a.copy of method to return a copy of this set. And if you want to remove something, like remove an element from the set, you can use a.pop of method. You can see it returns it like it popped out 1. Generally a.pop of method like returns it will pop the last element which is present, but since the set is unordered, it returns 1 here. So that's a pop of method. And even you can use a.remove of, I just want to remove some, you can specify what element you have to remove. A.remove of method. If I just print this a, you can see it removed this 23 from the set. So that's about this remove of method. And even you can use a.discard of method. If I just mention a.discard of 21, you can just print this. You can see 7, 56. It removed this. it deleted this 21 from that set. Then what's the difference between this remove and 20 this discard means? If I just mention like a dot discard of, like if I just mention an element which is not present in that set, or like if I just mention 1 here, it returns generally, since the 1 is not present here, it should return error, right? So this discard method, if you mention something which is not present in that set, it doesn't return any error from that. So that's about this discard. If the same thing, if you just use this remove method to, if I just mention the element which is not present in that, you can see it key error 1. So that's the difference between this discard and remove. And let's discuss some important functions of a set, like important methods in a set, like union, intersection, etc. And I will create 2 sets for those. Like I'm just using these numbers for better understanding. I'm just mentioning some elements here, numbers here, and I'm creating another set with, right? Now let's understand this union and intersection methods. First one is union. If I just mention a, for union you can just use a dot union of b. Union is nothing but it removes the common elements present in these 2 sets, and it returns everything present in those 2 sets. So if you see, this 1 and 2 is repeated here and it presents in 2 sets, so it removes this 1 and 2 from this set, and it adds this all the elements like 1 2 3 4 5 and 7 8 9, you can see, and it returns that set. So that's the use of this union of. And for union you can just use not only dot union method, you can just mention this, like this pipe symbol you can use, and even that returns the same output. So that's about union. And intersection is nothing but it returns the common elements present in between, the common elements between those sets. So if I just use a dot like intersection of b, you can see it returns 1 and 2. So those are the 2 elements which are common between these a and b, right? So that's why it returns 1 and 2. So that's about intersection. And you can use, instead of using dot intersection of method, you can just use this and symbol, right? The and symbol you can use a and b, you can see it returns 1 and 2. So that's about intersection. And there are some methods in through which we can just check whether the 2 sets are like 2 sets or disjoint sets, or whether one set is subset of other set, or whether one set is superset of other. There are some methods, so let's discuss those. And a dot, I'm just using this is disjoint of method of b, it returns false, right? So disjoint is nothing but there should be no common elements between those 2. So that's called as disjoint. And so since there are 2 common elements 1 and 2 in between in these sets a and b, so that's the reason why it returns false. So and you can use like a dot is subset of b, you can see it returns false. I'm just printing this a and b here, you can see I'm just given a is subset of b, right? So a subset is nothing but if a is subset of b, then all the elements in a should be present in b, then it will be a is subset of b. Like for example, I will create another set, right, 1 comma 2 here, and I'm creating another set b with 1 2 3 4. Now if I just given a dot is subset of b, you can see now it returns true, right? So subset is nothing but a is subset of b, nothing but, so all the elements present in a is present in b, right? So that's the reason a is subset of b. And next, similarly you can just use a dot is superset of b. So you can see it returns false, right? It means a superset is nothing but it's opposite of subset, right? Like superset methods returns true if a set has every elements of another set. For example, B, right? I'm just using B is superset of A, right? So you can see it returns true. It means all the elements present in A is present in B. So it's just opposite of this subset. So that's about this superset of function. So superset of method. There's another method like B dot, I'm just giving B dot difference of A. B dot difference of A, right? It returns 3, 4. It means it removes the elements, like it removes the common elements present in those two. For example, if you take A and B minus A I have given, right? So what is common in between these two? So it 1 and 2, right? So it removes this 1 and 2 and just it returns 3, 4. That's the use of this difference of method. That's about these methods in set. I hope you got an idea of what is tuple and what is set, what are the methods in set and all those things. If you understand the video, like the video and feel free to share your feedback in the comment section. Thanks for watching.